Okay, so as promised, I'm gonna show an example of how a path traversal vulnerability can look like, which is not so trivial. For that, I've prepared an Nginx, that's a web server commonly used as reverse proxy, and it's running on my local system. And I can show you the configuration. This is the Nginx configuration, all of it. Most of it you can ignore. Just gonna show you the two relevant parts. Well, first of all, we're using Nginx as a reverse proxy, so every request that is made under the slash is actually passed on via HTTP to another web server that is running, in this case, on localhost port 8080. Let's change that. It could also be passed on to so this everything HTTP related under slash will be passed to backend.mysystem.8000. Just the HTTP requests will be forwarded. And under this system there is probably an application server, such as Unicorn for Python, for Django applications, for example, or for Flask applications. Could be a Node.js, could be Green Unicorn, Ruby, whatever. Just HTTP requests are forwarded to this application server in the backend, which is done commonly. Nginx is used as a reverse proxy or for load balancing. Another important thing in this configuration is that we want to serve static files directly via the Nginx, not via the application server backend. This is a very common configuration for Nginx. So everything that's under slash static will not be forwarded to the backend, but will just be served directly out of the file system. Okay, so how does this work? Well, so as I said, this Nginx is running on my local system, that's why I'm using localhost. And I misspelled style. So everything that is under this static directory slash static will be served directly by Nginx and will not be forwarded to the application server, because the application server doesn't need to transfer static files. That's not what it's there for. What I can do now is I tell curl to transfer the path exactly as I specify it and not to remove parts or optimize parts. So now I was able to download the actual application, the source code, which I should not be allowed to. I should only be able to download files out of this directory for static files. So what happened? Well, here in this configuration we set slash static, and then we use an alias for a directory. And what happens is, if you use an alias directive, is everything after this static block will just be appended to this file system path. So with ... we were able to go one directory higher in the hierarchy, and then luckily there was an app directory and we could download files out of this static directory, which should not have been possible.